whatever.
All right, it is 6:45. We are here at the Rosewood at 419 East Main Street. Gerald, would you go ahead and open us up with a word of prayer?
Most God and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this Father, this prayer, all we do, we please in you, Father. As these things in your name.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move into the public session. Deputy Administrator, do we have anybody signed up? We'll go ahead and move right into the approval of minutes. That would be for the December 8th regular session minutes. Do I have a motion to open discussion? Just scratch it. Sorry. The regular session minutes were not complete or still in process, so we're going to go ahead and scratch that for now and move it into the next session. All right, next up is the approval of work session minutes. That is from the January 6, 2025 session. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion, but there really aren't any.
Yeah. Were there?
No.
It was our training session. So do we even need to go through the steps of approving it? Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Councilman Humphrey and Councilwoman Whitaker. And do we have any discussion on that? Or we're going in? Okay. All right, moving right on to new business. We have first readings. Oh, even though there were no minutes? Oh.
Well, the agenda actually will function as your minutes.
Okay, gotcha. All right. All in favor? Still learning. You too. All right. Next item, new business. First readings and resolutions. Updates to the business license ordinance, adding Class 6 to the rate scale as required by the state due to NAICS correlations and incorporating fire safety regulations. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Councilman Massey. And a second.
Second.
Councilman Cooley. Any discussion? Actually, I'll probably have our deputy administrator explain this a little bit.
Mary,
Or Mary.
Yeah. Pretty much by state law, we have to update our business license ordinance because we're adding in a Class 6 new code. Is that correct, Mary? Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the fire regulations, that's for our lock safety inspections, and we've never had it in the past. Now we have it in our city operating budget. We just have to have the regulations behind it.
And what does that class add to the rate scale?
I'm sorry, what was the rest of
It's okay. What is that class? Class 6? What does it cover?
I think it's something to do with real estate and leasing.
Okay.
The reason we were kind of going around, originally we had put the fire safety regulations in there. That was where we meet. Put in there. But Katie wanted to have the fire chief Smith have the opportunity to come in and talk with y'all about how that would work. So the actual ordinance you're voting on is only the one that's included in the packet. That all it does is include that Class 6. The reason that's important is because every other year, not only does the Municipal Association issue something that we're required by law to look at, adopting. But the NAIC codes changed because there's all kinds of new jobs that we made all of 2 years ago. So that's why there's a new class that needs to be added into ours.
So next month, you'll actually have a first reading again for amending the cost ordinance, but it'll include the fire safety standards in there.
That's it.
So when you say that, is that like something like can easily they come around once a year, like check our fire extinguisher to make sure they're up to code? So is that?
That's part of what we're part of. Typically, the way that I sort of drafted it would be for new businesses. Like, let's say you run a business that hasn't had a business in it for X number of years, or you run a business that say is a restaurant, whereas before it was a Hallmark store. So the fire marshal come in and see what kind of, or maybe a bar with an occupancy limit, that kind of thing. But the question that kind of progressing that we want to hear from Chief Smith is one of them is whether they can accommodate us and come around every year rather than just the first year. Fire extinguishers for that part of that.
Yeah, I was just wondering because normally they come around once a year and they check several things. How many people you can have, if there's a fire extinguisher, I think it's so many feet for how many people you have inside the building. So like if you're going to have, let's say, 50 people because they would get in this building one time, you must start going on the back door. That way you can accommodate both.
There's all kinds of factors, whether it has to be sprinkled, whether it has to be, if you have heat sources like ovens and stoves and candles, and, so there's a lot of different things. So I just thought, and Katie and I both kind of agreed on this, it'd be really good for council to talk to the chief and hear about that. But we'll see when we get that going, because Katie's out now. So.
Right. Okay. Just asking.
So what you're voting on tonight is just adding class 6 for the next code. If you don't add it in, then you can't charge for the same.
So in other words, if they don't have it, then they can't do this.
Yes, we are required to put it in there.
I have a couple questions for you. So you're saying that this is a rate class, or is it a sector, subsector class?
So our last amendment to the zoning ordinance, we removed it because we had been instructed by NSC, and now they changed the classification to add in 6, and it's listed something different now to add in real estate. So like every year they go through and NSC requires us to change it based on state code to they go in and they like reorganize, change the classes, change the names to match the next code.
What was the last ordinance change? Is it 2024?
No, it's in 2025. It was based on the model, not the model ordinance, but the model changes to the ordinance from the municipal association. And we just weren't able to, until we were able to look at the NAIC code changes, to know that we needed that class 6.
Because the one that I found on the website was 2024, and it has Exhibit A as Appendix B, which is the sector and subsector codes. That was an amendment due to business license ordinance. Appendix A is the actual rate scale, which is more like what this looks like, but it doesn't look like that here.
Yeah,
So
Your business license will need to be amended every other year, typically in odd years, but this one was just a little bit of a carryover from that odd year. So yes, if you went back, you'd probably find one every other year since they did the standardization
So
law.
I just want to make sure, are we modifying Appendix A or Exhibit A? Because
Exhibit A.
this one, it actually has both Appendix A and Exhibit A.
Exhibit A is just what you have, is the two-sided chart that you got, and that'll be what's in there. Exhibit A is kind of my term for it, so I'll have to copy the chart and try to insert it into the actual cover ordinance.
But we would have 2 Exhibit A's.
And this will replace what was in there before.
I guess I need to go find last year's updated version, because this is what I found on the
So
website.
last year was a part of your business license ordinance that y'all amended.
So you think that this one from 04 or 24 is the same as last year's?
So, no, they're different. So in 2024, MASC requires us to change our NIC codes and our incentives. So they voted in 2024 to replace them based on MASC standards. They sent us like a draft of everything that changed based on the state requirements. 2025, you changed a different part of your business license ordinance, which you now have in front of me, but I will get that and show you exactly what changed. This year, it's changing that rate class in 2024. So what you do is your rate is replace the rate. So it'll be the same as replacing that rate.
Cool. That's exactly what I'm saying. In 2024, the rate class was called Appendix A. Then the subclasses was called Appendix B. Had an ordinance change and renamed that Exhibit A. Now you're calling this Exhibit A.
No, that's Exhibit A to the ordinance.
So did this.
No.
So did B on the top said Exhibit A to the ordinance.
But in the new ordinance, it'll be Appendix A and Appendix B. That's how it will be entitled in the ordinance after. If you all pass this amendment, it will go into, that's what we call a new ordinance or an amended ordinance, and it'll be Appendix A and Appendix B will be how it's entitled. Because that's how it's referenced. If you go all the way to the end, that's how it's referenced in your existing ordinance, is Appendix A and Appendix B.
So Exhibit A won't be
Exhibit A
written on there anymore?
is just my way of attaching it to the cover ordinance.
From the 2024 version, that title of Exhibit A won't exist anymore?
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that. When I look at the ordinance online, the only one I can see is the 2022 ordinance, and it has Appendix A and Appendix B. That's the only one I can find online.
No, it's our ordinance 2024-07 been replaced, and on there,
With
inside here, it says Appendix A, and down here it says Appendix B, but Appendix B is Exhibit A to the amendment to classes 1 through 8 in Appendix B. So if you have 2 Exhibit A's now, one from 24.
You will not have Exhibit A in the new ordinance. That's just me attaching that piece of paper to your cover ordinance. That will not be in the text of the ordinance.
But this chart will be.
Yes.
What's this chart going to be called?
Appendix A and Appendix B.
This is Appendix. Well, it's not both of them. It's only one or the other. Because Appendix B is the sector and subsector.
That's separate. Appendix B
Correct.
is not changing.
I agree 100%.
The only attachment.
And it is Exhibit A in the text. No, it doesn't.
That's what changed in 2025 is Exhibit B.
The new ordinance will have this along with what we had last time. But basically, I think if I'm right, I may be wrong, I almost a Mary question. Basically, when you amend the ordinance, you create a new ordinance in its place. That's what you're doing, right? So this would be part of the new ordinance. The new ordinance will actually have the terminology you're looking for. If I'm not mistaken, Mary, is that right?
I don't understand John's catch-up or glitch with this, and I apologize because I'm just being slow.
Sure. No,
The ordinance that you're doing, or that you're looking at tonight, does not include the words Exhibit A. That's just paperwork. Nor will it include the whereases. This is just a cover ordinance that you look at to change the text of your ordinance. And the text of your ordinance will not have Exhibit A. That's just
your
I think
That's what it says right here, number 3,
I think
Exhibit A.
so what will happen is it'll delete and replace it. Does that make sense? Okay, so it used to be called Appendix A. Another word that you can use for Appendix A is Exhibit A. So what will happen is we're putting Exhibit A, it'll replace Appendix A, if that makes sense. So,
I'm just saying that right here in this area, in number 3, it says Exhibit A.
But this is not your business license ordinance.
But this is the text.
This is a cover license ordinance.
Agreed.
The text of the ordinance that's being changed is only, this chart replaces what was in there before. The term Exhibit A is just a legal term to identify that there is another piece of paper attached to this cover ordinance.
So you can call it Exhibit A or Appendix A.
Okay, but if you read this text on number 2, it says, it will replace the existing table that is set forth in Exhibit A. It's not Exhibit A.
Well, how,
Appendix A.
if we all agree with this chart, we vote on it and say, hey, make sure we don't have 2 Exhibit A's. I mean,
But again, I mean, this paperwork needs to be right.
Because we want.
well, I understand what you're saying.
You can't pass stuff that's not correct.
Right.
We shouldn't be doing that. So,
I don't care what it's called. This is not the text.
That is what it says now.
Right.
no.
But
It's just a
But
note.
when she passed,
You
when
can
we
call
vote
it
to pass it, it's gonna change.
yes, is that right?
What's on that record will change.
I think it's just, you're trying to make sure that we're not creating confusion, so we can go back and try to
There
reference.
is nothing.
Like, what am I referencing?
There's nothing on this piece of paper that says Exhibit A. This is the language change. This does not say Exhibit A. It is just to identify this as an attachment to your ordinance. That's it.
That Exhibit A was for our reference, right?
All right.
You have changed
This
the
says we're
policy.
going to change Exhibit A in the ordinance. And in the ordinance, Exhibit A is Appendix B.
And the reason is because in the prior ordinance, there was an Exhibit A that was attached to the cover ordinance to change the language, and we're replacing that attachment with this attachment instead.
Which you use
I
as a.
don't know. Okay, so I disagree with that. That's the part I'm disagreeing with. You know, before Exhibit A was Appendix B, not Appendix A.
But when whoever did the cover ordinance, the one that I was looking at online on your website,
From
this
25.
is how it was set up, almost exactly. No, not the 25 one. The 25 one was changed to a different part of the ordinance.
Appendix B.
I don't know. It was whatever the model recommended.
I'm just telling you. This is, to me, it's so easy because I've been looking at this and I came up with it. But, and it seems to me to be so straightforward that it says in here we're replacing Exhibit A. And in this, it says Exhibit A is Appendix B. To me, that's wrong.
I see what he's referring to, but all I know is this is the text. If you call it Exhibit A, if you call it, supercalifragilistic, whatever, this is what is changing in the ordinance. It's replacing the prior charts that are almost exactly like this, except it's inserting class 6. That's all. That's all that changes.
The other one was the lease.
That's listed on my section. Where is the Exhibit A?
So I see what you're saying on this right here. It says, City of License Ordinance is hereby amended to reflect inclusion of Class 6 in the table of class of business set forth in Exhibit A, attached by replacing the existing table if it was set forth in Exhibit A. So it's always been Exhibit A, and now we're replacing it, correct? Is that what you're saying?
It was Appendix A.
Okay. Well, so here,
You said the old ordinance says Appendix.
The old one says Appendix, and on top of it,
So now it's going to exhibit.
including.
I think you're getting confused because they use the same thing. They don't
Two
even.
different tables.
They are two different tables.
There's two different tables. Does this make it all one table?
So the rate schedule Appendix A in 2024, if you look at it, it's missing a class 6.
Correct.
So this one, exhibit appendix, adds it, and this one doesn't.
So it'll do away with that one and add the 6.
This one replaces.
But it doesn't replace the next
But
one.
appendix B does not change.
And read the top of the Appendix B.
Okay, when I look up in Unicode, it says Appendix A. I don't care if y'all want to change that. I don't care. It's the chart that's the language change.
So they mean, unnecessarily, they mean the same thing. They're just named differently, if that makes sense. But the chart, you're replacing it from 2024. You're putting this one in to replace it as class 6, but your appendix B from 2024 was replaced last year.
So is the charts staying the same over?
No, the charts are not. What
It's
you're,
completely changed.
so you are voting tonight 6
Six.
Right, I got
to
Because it didn't have six.
chart. Yeah, so that will change,
This
if you
chart.
look, it'll all be the same, but adding in class 6.
That's the only change in the entire.
That's the only change.
No, we went to 2 digits instead of 1. You used to say 6, or 5, and now it says 6 point something, right?
Here, it just says
I'm not seeing that.
Rate class was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
8, 1.
Now they say what? 1 what? What's the first rate code now on the new chart?
I'm gonna look back at those ones. No, it says 8.1, 8.2, 8.3.
No, what about just start with 1?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one.
And then number 6 is 6.
The only thing that will change is class 6. That's the only thing that we're legally able to change. Because nothing else has changed. And if you don't, like right now, we're not able to use MSC portal for business license because we haven't changed it yet. We have to have it in place before April, or we cannot charge our residents for class 6 or our city residents for class 6.
You wait.
Does that make sense?
She said they can take one. Right. So we can charge up until April, is that right?
Yes, but if we don't go now to
We
change
won't get
it,
it done in time.
Well,
It won't be.
it would be, the problem would be that their licenses, let's say I started the business today, the license that I have to apply for, if I want to start that business, would be the prior year license, and it'll expire on May 1st.
We gotta do 2 readings, right? Okay, next month they can bring the finalized orders with John's, you can make the motion, because you have to amend it on the second reading, if I'm correct. Send it to William, make the first reading, the rest we got the ball, make the right. And next month, they bring the entire orders back, with the right attendances that John's looking for. I'm just throwing an idea. Kind of keep the ball rolling. We get us.
Just make it uniform, say the same thing.
So the ordinance will say the same, it'll just show this, and we'll rename it instead of saying exhibit A, we'll say appendix A, and then.
Just bring it all back in one big package.
Bring it all back in one second reading.
Yep. I think I understood.
That was it. Yeah, we need to make sure we're not creating any confusion.
Somebody else reads it, and that's all you do.
That doesn't sound right.
But do it by, go ahead and vote on it. This is the
First reading,
second reading.
send it out, and we exercise, everybody.
So are we not voting on this?
No, you'll
Just
vote on it.
just vote to
Amend it.
amend it?
So you're still at the same exact thing, we're just doing like, we're just changing that. Exhibit to appendix. That's the only thing changing, and then I'm certifying the entire ordinance.
We can make sure that it's all, yes, yeah, we can look at it prior to,
So y'all already did, a motion,
Yep.
second, discussion, I will explain your request.
Yep.
And then y'all.
Okay, so just call for a vote. All in favor of amending, we're just gonna amend it, right?
No, we're going to vote.
Okay.
We're not actually amending, right?
There's no order presented now.
Right.
And they'll send us.
Okay. So I'm just calling for a vote on the updates to the business license. Okay. To add plastics. All in favor? And do I need to do anything additional on that to send it back for? Okay.
I'll just make sure it's corrected for,
This, I have this copy too that John said he could use. All right, we'll move on to second readings, old business updates to Article 2, Council, Section 242, appearance of citizens. Do I have a motion? Councilman Wilson? And a second? Councilman Canley? Any discussion? I agree. We did work session, first reading.
Did we need to add in under A, the total time period for public comments may be set in the agenda? Would we actually set it in the agenda, or would we just have a fixed amount of time, 30 minutes, as a fixed number?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
It says in section A, or in item A, it says the total time period for public comments may be set in the agenda for each meeting.
That's right now, but sometimes that can be up to the mayor, depending on if they're like, let's say your agenda's like 30 pages.
Yeah, so can we have like a set, like standard, and then
30.
vary?
Yeah.
Where's that 30 show up?
I think there's always like an unspoken, just a 30-minute block.
Yeah.
That's something you could add in there. The reason I didn't add it in there was because you may have something big like the comprehensive plan that would take again, budget, for example, that would take a long period of time and people are really interested in. And that's why I didn't set a standard, but we can definitely do a standard in the mayor and alter that. It kind of says the same thing, can alter that when she feels appropriate or something.
Because if you set it, then it has to be here at that time. Does that make sense? So if you're saying I want there to be a 30-minute block for public session, then every agenda there has to be a 30-minute block unless the mayor goes in.
Okay, so that unwritten is gone. So we just need to make sure we understand we don't have it. Because if it's set that, we don't set it, we don't. It can be whatever the mayor wants. No big deal.
Yep.
Cool.
The mayor goes in and does it.
And in that case,
Yeah, application.
I do think that we talked, it seemed like it was 30 minutes from the very first one. I think we kind of get to where it was just set for the mayor, because like Mary said, if there was something that was bigger, more limited to be just for 30 minutes.
And the council can extend somebody's time frame?
you actually can vote, the mayor can, to extend if something's going on, that's kind of got discretion.
That's what it says for us.
Yes.
So that's what we have.
Any discussion? I think we've kind of talked at length about this one. Yeah, we beat this one up. All right. I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor? All right. Next up for old business, we have updates to Article 2, Council, Section 241, agenda. Do I have a motion? I got Councilman Wilson and for motion and second. Any discussion? I think we kind of talked about this in that length as well. This is in the work session.
3 hours, 2 business days,
Yep.
John stated.
Yep, prefer that people call and sign up to speak, but if they show up Monday night and have something burning, that needs to be spoken about, they're welcome to sign up at the door. We'll start providing a sign-in sheet. Most people are going to sign up by Friday at 4:30, but if something happens over the weekend that they need to bring to us, I want to make that an option.
Things can happen
Yes,
very fast.
they can. Yeah, absolutely. All right, any other discussion? Good. All right, let's go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Let's go ahead and jump into the city and financial report, Deputy Administrator. And I know this is a long one, so go ahead and...
This is a long one, so if you have any questions, just stop me, slow me down. For City Hall, Kate will be out of the office until mid-April as she welcomes her new child. Please continue to reach out to Sierra Wilson with any business license, hospitality tax, or website questions. Our 5th edition of our city newsletter has been published and is down on our city website. That's exciting. A total of 310 business license renewals were mailed out January 5th, 2026. These renewals must be submitted by April 30th to avoid any penalties. 2 new features have been added to the business license page on the website. Users can now search for business license within the city limits, and users can calculate the cost of a business license online. A few minor issues are still being addressed. If you notice any, please let us know or email business.license@libertySC.com. We have our payroll audit on January 28th. This will be my first one. Pretty self-explanatory. I'll make sure to give y'all a report afterwards. Interviews have began for the utility and public works director position. Once hired and in place, we'll move forward with filling our open water and sewer positions. We have a new hire, Thomas Addis. I hope I say his last name correct. Our new CDL driver. He comes from County Central with extensive experience and excellent references. So we're excited to have him on board. Our 150th anniversary art exhibit. What does Liberty mean to you? Community art exposition. As part of the Liberty's 150th anniversary celebration, we're excited. We're inviting artists of all ages and skill levels to take part in our special community art exhibition centered around a simple question: what does Liberty mean to you? This exhibition is an opportunity for creative sharing with living in Liberty, South Carolina, and what it means to you through art. All submissions will be displayed at Rosen Center as part of the city's 150th anniversary celebration and will remain on display till the end of 2026. Details for this is the original artwork that can be displayed. Art pieces must be family friendly. Pieces should reflect what Liberty, South Carolina means to you. This is non-judged. There's no competitive aspect of this. All eligible submissions will be displayed. So the more the merrier. The deadline is February 27th. The artwork drop-off location is the City Hall's Water Department. All artwork must be included with the artist's name, contact information, and the artwork must be picked up by January 15, 2027. For our South Carolina Waffle Fest for 2026, South Carolina Waffle Fest is scheduled for Saturday, March 21st from 10 to 5 p.m. We'll have 76 vendors so far with a mix of food, artisans, nonprofit, and commercial business vendors. This is huge. We doubled. Vendor locations will be spread across West Front Street and South Commerce Street. The event also includes a kid area, which will have inflatables, games, face painting, a trackless train ride, and more. It'll be located in Charlie Park. The kids area is sponsored by Carter's Play for the 2nd year. Our presenting sponsor again is the U.S. Waffle Company, and we also received a sponsorship from money from the Leap Fair. They will have their own booth at the festival. We do have 2 billboards that will be located to advertise for the Waffle Fest. One will be on Highway 123 and the other will be on Highway 8, and they will go up in March. Along with these 2 events, we'll be throwing a birthday party for the city. This will be on Saturday, March 7th from 2 to 5. We'll have 3 food trucks, a photo booth with props, music, and hopefully a birthday cake, but we're still working on this. Special recognition. We'd like to give a special shout out to Councilmember Wilson. We'd like to thank him for stepping up during the time we needed him most. While we were short a CDL driver, he volunteered his time without pay to help run our trash routes temporarily. Our trash route begins at 6 a.m. and he was there extra early, ready to assist without hesitation. Our staff worked a great deal for him, and we truly appreciate his support and dedication to the city of Liberty. So thank you, Councilmember Wilson. Commercial trash truck update. After Councilmember Wilson stepped in, he quickly assessed the condition of our commercial trash truck. It was discovered that the truck had been poorly maintained and neglected prior to this, resulting in damage to the truck bed and operational issues. Despite several challenges, John and Edmonds worked to get us scheduled quickly and assessed and made sure that we had all necessary repairs. While the truck was down for approximately a week, which just happened to be the week of Christmas, Meridian Waste stepped in to pull the load and Their team was excellent to work with. As always, thank you to everyone involved for helping keep operations running and continuing to serve our community. A property use request from Poncho. Maria, the owner of Poncho, contacted me regarding the use of city-owned property beside her building across from Daisy for parking. She previously paid the area that was the parking lot where the railroad company is, and they were allowed to use it but did not have anything in writing. Recently, the railroad took over that property with little notice, which caused her concern for her business. Maria is requesting a written permission to utilize the city property for parking as she plans to reopen Poncho's as a Mexican breakfast and lunch carry-out option with frozen options. This matter will be discussed further with council. I just wanted to bring it to you guys. Public Works and Stormwater. West Front Street and North Azalea Street are both temporary closed due to erosion issues with the road. We are currently working to determine the best course of action to repair and reopen these roads. We want them to be as safely as possible, but we're trying to do it as quickly as possible. Apple Drive and Norman Street have potholes that we're working to patch and find a solution. New signs have went up at North Hillcrest, Alta Vista, and North Palmetto. So they are up, and you can see them when you drive by. The stop sign at Ruhama and South Norman has received a new pole. It was previously hit, and they reinstalled it, but it was down too low. A drainage complaint was at 116 Blue Ridge. We have noticed that the drainage grate was removed when they put a new water line in, and the contractor that had did it didn't put it back. We've got in contact with those contractors, and they're working to find a solution. We will be working in the courtyard the last week of February. The courtyard will be temporarily closed to remove the dirt from the flower bed, allow the building owner to repair the wall. This is if I can get in contact. I'm not in time to be in contact, but it really just depends on if everybody's schedule alone. We're hoping to have that restored, beautify the area, and reopen by the wall set. This work is planned ahead just to try to do it before the heavy rains come in. A community clean out day will be held in February to temporarily rehouse our flowers that might be damaged. Details will be available on the city Facebook page and website page, so just tune in for that. We are working on installing a traffic mirror under the underpass over here to help improve traffic flow and reduce the noise complaints to the new tenants. We're also still working on the speed bump for Alta Vista Road. We've been evaluating and looking at different types and quantities for that road. We're continuing efforts to contact Westfield Apartments. We have some safety hazards over there with trash collection, just the visibility is very terrible, and we're nervous to get over there for rest of our staff. We would like to form a crosswalk project committee. Volunteers are needed to help identify priority areas and communicate with SCDOT and the county for potential areas, which was the City Hall as well as the tax center. We have got to get some proper crosswalks in there. So if you're interested or know anybody interested, please make sure to reach out to me so we can move forward with that. Electricom is running fiber lines for Blue Ridge infrastructure projects, so please be patient if there is any disruption. Hopefully not. For our utilities department, there was a sewer backup complaint at 114 Wilson, which was resolved after the line was jetted. This is just a reminder, do not flush pipes or pour grease down the drain. It's so terrible. The fire hydrant at Edgemont will be replaced soon. We have all the materials, we just have to have somebody to do it. And we also have to make sure it's outside of school hours so we don't affect their water supply. 102 Springdale has experienced some sewer backup issues. The tie-in at the main line was replaced, and that resolved the issue there. For our recreation department, the Little League baseball lighting at Island Field and the water tower will begin in January 2026. All the material has finally shipped, and installing will take approximately 2 weeks. The Rose Center, they're continuing to paint the inside. The auditorium will be complete once they have a scissor lift and you can get up there. The Rosewood signs, we have 3 quotes. We're just reviewing which option is best moving forward. Freedom Playground. Quotes have been obtained from Play USA, Palmetto Playground, and Miracle Recreation. The CARD grant, Ms. Peggy Edwards has agreed to assist with grant funding for further park playground improvements. We're extremely grateful for Ms. Edwards. Liberty Dugout Park installation is scheduled for the end of the month with a reveal event planned. Grass seed and sand has been placed on the city football stadium field, as well as at Liberty Dugout Park. All of our spring sports, which is flag football, soccer, baseball, softball, and volleyball, is open, so make sure to get your little ones signed up. Seats at Song Park has been painted, and then Pickens County Recreation Grant application closes January 30th. So funds will be requested for more field lighting and a walking track at Freedom Park. We haven't had any new sponsorships. We also haven't had any stadium rentals, but we continue to maintain all of our facilities, and we really need our slide at Freedom Park to be replaced. It's continuing to wear and tear. So we wanted to let you guys know. The Rosa Center, the Lux Theater, will be hosting a play in April, as well as we have the animal pet bag that uses it twice a month. We've had one rental at Mills Avenue and 11 at the city gym, so that's excellent for us. We haven't had any at the baseball field or any at the gazebo at this time, and then our 1 mile loop cemetery is continuing to be maintained. For our police department, we've issued 164 warnings, 80 citations, and 80 arrests. And if you want to know more about the arrests, they're listed there. I'm just not going to go into all the details. For our police community events, they had Shop with a Cop and Other Heroes. On December 12, 2025, the Liberty Police Department partnered with essential police officers, local firefighters, and members of the Punishers Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club to participate in the annual Shop with a Cop program at the Central Walmart. Officers and first responders shop alongside children to help ensure that they experience a memorable Christmas. This event continues to grow and strengthen positive relationships with the community, reflecting that Liberty Police Department is ongoing with their commitment to serving others. They also participated in Rolling into Toys. On December 13, 2025, Liberty Police officers assisted with traffic control and participated in the Rolling into Toys toy drive, helping ensure the safe movement and participation while supporting this community event that benefits children in need during the holiday season. Race Across America. On December 13, 2025, the Liberty Police Department participated in Race Across America ceremony alongside community members to honor fallen veterans by placing remembrance wreaths at veterans' graves in recognition of their service and sacrifice. This annual event serves as a meaningful opportunity for the department and the community to come together in remembrance, ensuring that the legacy and contributions of those who serve our nation are never forgotten. Liberty Police Department Christmas Party. On December 22, 2026, the Little Bistro graciously hosted the Liberty Police Department's annual Christmas party, providing a delicious meal in recognition of the essential employees who serve our community. The event also featured raffles made possible through generous donations from local businesses and community members. This gathering served as an opportunity to express appreciation for the dedication and hard work for our employees, and it would not have been possible without the support and graciousness of our local businesses and community. For police training, on December 4, 2025, Sarah Howard attended an informational technology security audit 101 workshop with SLED in Columbia, South Carolina. On December 19, 2025, the Liberty Police Department officers participated in annual firearms training to maintain proficiency and ensure compliance with department standards. This requires training in essentials to promote officer safety, reinforce informal firearm handling, and ensuring officers remain prepared to respond effectively in a critical incident. For our finances. For our general fund, November, the net income was $151,791. Our year-to-date net income is $195,935. For our utility fund, November net income was $45,252. Year-to-date income for our utility fund is $62,247. For our hospitality fund, for November, we actually had a net loss of $7,399. And for year-to-date, we have an income of $13,158. For our victim services, we had a loss of $196, and we had a total total loss for victim services were $1,702. For other funds, we have $1,000, and I did find out that's for donations. For our bank balance, we have $3,207,950.68. For an overall net gain for November 2025, $181,732, which is good. The city is 5 months into our fiscal year 2026. A benchmark of 58.34% of the budget remains is used to help kind of gauge where we should be. For our total budget revenue remaining, we are at 51.43%, which is ahead of the budget, so that's good. General fund revenue remaining is 49.34, so we're also ahead of general fund. Utility fund, we're at 53.65, so we're also ahead of there. Hospitality fund, we're at 61.13, so we actually are a little bit behind on hospitality fund. Total expenses remaining are 56.09, which is slightly behind the benchmark. Overall revenue exceeds the budget by approximately $330,000, while expenditures exceed the budget by $106,000. As many municipalities living experiences cyclical revenue patterns throughout the fiscal year, larger revenue months such as property taxes, annual license, NFC tax programs, and quarterly franchise fees kind of help to offset our slower months. I threw a lot at you guys. Do you have any questions for me?
With the crosswalks, I totally agree with that. Is there any way we could reach out to someone with SCDOT to have a traffic study done?
Yeah.
To where they can come out and check the traffic flow?
Sorry, I mentioned speed bumps. This is just from previous experience. I strongly encourage you to consider having a policy in place before you install these speed bumps. This is going to be one of the biggest nightmares you encounter, I promise you, going forward, because once you open that door's box, it's going to be hard to kind of push things back in place. So we need to make sure that we've got guidelines and standards that we have out there, whereas
policy that I've written for another city. One of the issues is like 10 neighbors will like them, and 20 won't like them, and depending on now they make those soft ones that are rubbery. One of the big complaints is you're hurting my car, going over them. So that it will be controversial, but in neighborhoods especially, and I think these are kind of looking in a neighborhood area. There's some ways in the policy that I wrote to request them, but you have to have somebody in the neighborhood agree. It can't just be one person that wants the speed bumps, and the whole neighborhood doesn't. So I can get you that just to look at it and see if it might be something you're interested in. And maybe Gerald and John, of course, may have some other suggestions, but it's probably been five or 6 years since I wrote that one.
You said it's a certain percentage of the neighborhood?
Well, that was the way that we set it up so that, let's say you have 100 neighbors. I can't remember what the percentage was. After the first time, it really didn't come up all that much. But you have to show that so many, I think Camelot was the neighborhood in Clemson that had a problem with it. They're a single egress neighborhood. And so everybody that comes and goes has to go on certain roads to get there. Whereas if you have multiple egresses, you don't have as much traffic, obviously. And so the way we set it up was a percentage of the neighbors had to agree. And I can't remember if it was a petition or it was a written, just to get a written letter saying they agree.
I think Randy's got a form on their side.
Yeah.
There's different ways to do it. I know insurance was a big thing for us when we first started doing it years ago. We had a policy. And we actually learned from mistakes. I think they put a policy in place. One of the things that you got to do is run this policy by your insurance company, make sure that we can.
I think that's good too.
So I was kind of going off the county's policy. Is this something that we can kind of, the speed bumps for accidents, to kind of put on hold for a second for council to look at and put a policy in place so our new department head can kind of see that?
I'd like to hear your opinion first.
The other, sorry.
I agree just because of the fact that the person that brought it, we had one person, I think, that brought it up. Tonight, the second person brought it up.
from a different place, but the first one was my son-in-law. Okay. You know, and it's the number of them, it's the size of them, do you need it? Because right now it's speculative, right? There's a business now coming very close to the neighborhood, so speculative.
Well, there's
Reynolds got these big long
Can you also do a traffic study for that though? If you do it, if you do it for crosswalks, would you also do it for these?
Don't restrict that, count the number of cars.
that's also correct. You can also, if you put out speed limits, they don't have to be permanent.
No.
Right. But you definitely need good signage because, you know, I'm the one that doesn't see it till the last minute, drives over it and makes everybody think
It
they're
looks
going
like the car is flying.
It's technically 15 mile an hour in that area, so that's the speed limit in there, and a brand new sign was installed today. I saw it. Thank you very much.
The speed limit sign?
The speed limit sign is
Much like the
just that.
speed limit sign.
But it's only one direction. It's only one
So would
direction.
that be something you would like to see in the ordinance, maybe like some kind of play done before and implemented?
Because see, SCDOT would have to do a study before they would even put a crosswalk.
Well, if you put speed limits where it's 50 miles an hour,
Could you also do a sign of
so you have to slow it down around it.
you know, like warrants you to slow down?
Well, I know West Front Street and Main Street is 30, well, West Front is 25, and Main Street is supposed to be 30.
Well, part of it is 30 and part is 35. This is where you are.
But I did not swear to Greenville, and they gave me the name of the company that Greenville, the city of Greenville uses. They don't have that rubber speed bumps in stock. They only order them as they need them. They move theirs around.
And you said the one they got now, asphalt, and then put in, they kind of ride. The one that is, if they send you to a base kind of one, they use a recycle center. I encourage everybody to go to the recycle center and drive down within 2 miles an hour.
Yeah. And wear it out for it.
Yeah.
The one in Greenville's coming down, they actually use flagpoles,
Yeah.
and they drill down, and it comes in sections.
That's like one of the recycle centers, they see it. They're so sharp, so short, even at 2 miles an hour. You won't hit it once and you'll know it's there.
But it's something that we can move once people get used to being there. Then you can move it to another trouble street.
We don't have to put a tractor slide working through the, all of the neighborhood.
When is it, I mean, expected to be like?
I think end of spring.
All the trees are
It's
down.
supposed to be breaking ground in February.
Trees are gone.
Yeah.
We're about to, I guess an update on there, we're about to start the process for our tax. So once we get this done, so we,
There's some other options for traffic calming. I mean, the one that comes to mind is if you have those, Chief, I don't know if you have any of those mobile speed limit things that show your speed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's another option. You can do those around too.
Right. Central does that. I'm going to Central. Yeah. Oh, you do?
Now, if Ponchos don't use our proper switching corner, we would have to put a crosswalk right there, because I don't think there's a crosswalk there. If they're wanting to use that parking lot across the street,
For tractor slide.
no, Ponchos.
Oh, that's one of my questions too. I was wondering which parking lots will take.
Because they're going to be crossing.
Is the grass still line, or are they talking about something?
So if you look at the laundromat and Daisy's parking lot right there, it's directly across. So there, she actually owns some of the grass area right there, and then ours attaches, and then it goes into
The old laundry,
right.
the little wooden building.
So it's probably need a crosswalk right
So
there.
she's wanting to use
Because
the
Daisy
grassy
wants to
area.
use it as well.
It would be nice if she paid the cars.
She's wanting so that grassy area by the church.
She's scared to pave it because she paved the last one.
That's what the old tire.
But if she owns that property,
Well, it's a very small area, maybe like.
so this is between the Ponchos building and the church.
Yeah, so the church is kind of like here, Ponchos is
Yeah.
right here, and there's a little grassy area, Street, I mean, you could probably get maybe 8 cars right there, but it would have to be like gravel.
But some of those sides, how,
That's what a tire shop is.
It's pretty hard.
It was an upholstery shop, it was a laundry, it was a cleaners, dry cleaners.
Mary had a good point. That would probably be something good for Jennifer. That's what we're at.
Yes, agreed. Like a business video. The next one. Yeah, David was talking about us, I'm like,
The crosswalk signs, I know when I was in Florida, we'll bring this up, but they had the actual strobe lights on top of the crosswalk signs. So when you walk up to it, you mash the button and the lights will actually activate.
So
Let
the ones,
traffic know to slow
the
down.
ones in Wisconsin, you don't have to hit a button. You walk up, it's an eye.
I'll see
You
it
cross
right
through, and it kicks those lights on.
Yes, sir.
So that way you don't have to put, you don't have to go over to it, you don't have wires going to
To
it.
hit a full hole.
So we just did it right there in front. It was interesting, and I like the idea of those lights because it's very dark in some areas. If you just, I mean, even the parade, we're doing a parade, dark. So if you have something that would light it up.
Actually, was saying that when I was walking out of City Hall a minute ago, I came through and it's so dark over there.
And those lights are bright on top of those crosswalk signs. I mean, they have very bright LEDs.
I had a question. What pulled from our hospitality fund so much? I was just curious.
I'm thinking it's events. I'll actually have to go to pool, so they're still in the process of closing this out, and after they close it out, I can actually see what exactly did it, but I'm thinking it's some of our events, because we're already moving into our Waffle Fest stuff, and so I'm thinking maybe that's coming out before these renewals come in.
Did they pull some of that roof?
So we're pulling from, October, November for the Waffle Fest. We were buying stuff already?
Yes, so because Katie left in January, they went ahead and planned it, which is okay to go ahead and buy for it, but you gotta think, our busy time for hospitality starts now, because of renewals.
Katie mentioned they paid for the gazebo roofs, some of that too.
Yes, which that was budgeted for. So it's in the community project. So what's happening is we're not having enough revenue coming in right now for the expenses, but it's about to pick up because of the renewals.
And that gazebo roof came from the what?
Community project.
Community project that was in the budget?
Yeah, but it wasn't 19,000.
No, I'm saying it came from part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know account for something that's,
I figured it, yeah.
I got one thing real quick. And I kind of split with Nate, right? On the Steve birthday party, would that be possible to have the Jeep Cruisin? I keep asking.
Did you get Jared's email back?
Yeah, she said she's going to talk to you.
Oh, sorry, we talked about it. We're going to do an event in August. We're going to do everybody knows about it. We're going to do a car cruise and a food truck event in August as part of the 150th. And we want to invite the Jeep Club out to that. If they can wait till August. Okay.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, and just so we're going to do it on Main Street, like how much?
They're still working on it.
So he would actually...
August is a ways off. I'm glad we're coming.
Well, the only reason I was saying that is because I know it is the birthday event,
Yes.
and I want to draw people in. So, like, he was really talking on the phone. He was like, well, listen, so I put this out there. He said, be prepared. Like, you're going to have at least 150
We
Jeeps.
should use the football parking lot.
So, I was like, hold on, let me talk this over.
Car cruise, yeah.
So he was basically saying he would come out, help you map everything out, get all that out. We talked about the anniversary logo, doing some awards. He said if you do awards, you still get even more people.
Awesome.
So just something, it didn't have to be that big, but I thought that might help draw some people in.
Yeah, we were trying to make the birthday party just like a huge quintessential birthday party, like what you expect when you go to a birthday party. You've got the photo booth, you've got cupcakes and cake, you've got ice cream, you've got some food trucks to buy extra stuff from. We'll do like lemonade, just make it like when you were a kid kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like just really fun, lots of food, very festive.
A clown too, right?
We could.
Yeah,
We could. That's fine. We could do it.
No, I think you did it personally.
Yeah. Well, anyhow.
PR 549.
Yeah, I mean, anytime,
Okay.
I didn't know what you had access to.
Yeah.
Have you reached out to Carnegie County?
Not yet.
They've been looking at too. We're working with John Hagel right now.
Right now, they're setting up their initial.
I'm glad he's involved. He's so excited.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I did my phone. As soon as I saw the car thing on the plans, I was like, Sierra, just contact John.
Yeah.
Just start there. Oh, girl, that's all.
Okay, can you explain why the Waffle Festival became the South Carolina Waffle Festival and not the Liberty Waffle Festival?
Yeah, so that would have been something our previous mayor had put in place. She wanted it to be something big and something that Liberty was known for, so she called it the South Carolina. We're the only one that has the Waffle Fest, from my understanding.
Thank you.
There's a lot. Any other questions on the administrator's report? Everybody good? John? you have anything?
No.
He doesn't want you to lose, I'm not going to say
All right, we'll go ahead and move into city council comments. Mikkel Cantley, Ward 1.
Yes. So one of my updates is that Ms. Wilson in Ward 1 reached out to me on Facebook to request a new street name sign be installed in the corner near her house. It was taken out previously when new water lines were put in, and Deputy Administrator Bailey Locke helped to assist me by contacting the Public Works Department and adding it to their schedule. Update on the TNR efforts in Ward 1. Cat Garage Rescue used their resources to track cats with me on Bracken Court Sunday, December 28th. Due to the weather and nature of the situation, this will be ongoing as we try to TNR the whole colony. We were able to get only about 3, but we're going to have to go back out again. The other thing that will be holding us up from continuing it is that Cat Garage Rescue is doing another TNR project in Ward 1, for which I'm extremely grateful and plan to assist. That'll take some time. It's a really big project. And then we also have some other areas that I wanted to help save up for. There is a road on West Beatty Street and Bryant Street, Ward 4, that we're going to see what the cost will be, because we have to save up, I think it's like $40 per cat. So fundraise for, that's about it.
Thank you. All right, Gerald Wilson, Ward 2.
Yes. I may not need to meet my but first off, I want to thank Vic and his staff. I know the 9th of January was Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Guys, I really do appreciate what you guys do. I've lived in Liberty for 25 years now. Been stopped one time in those 25 years. One time. Now, let me tell you when I got stopped. When I got stopped, I had a headlight out. And seriously, and the officer pulled me over. He actually offered to come by the house the next day and help me change that bulb if I needed help, because I saw how to figure out how to do it since I knew it'd been out for a while. But I appreciate you guys.
So you were a warrior.
I was just putting it out there. That speaks highly of his staff. Because, hey, if you need help trying to figure out how to get out, I'll come by and recommend let you do it. But, I appreciate you guys. I mean, you guys kind of get kicked a lot. I'm sure people hate to see you coming down. I still appreciate you. Sometime in late February, let's kind of get the guys together. I thought I could maybe cook some burgers for or something. As long as Mayor Wagner didn't mind and Administrator Locke. But maybe I can just cook it for you or something. I enjoy cooking stuff. But also, I wanted to thank Administrator Locke. I know the last 90 days, I guess, probably 60 to 90 days, we bombarded her with questions. She's been very cordial. She's been, I'm sure we drove you crazy. I do appreciate you being very responsive. The signs, echo what Mikkel said. I mean, you made the constituents very happy by getting signs up. It's been down for many, many years. We appreciate you and all the staff. Katie's business license the other day, I was telling the mayor about that. I was showing people downtown December the 11th. We had the Christmas thing. How cool it was. You can actually search for businesses you need, restaurants or whatever the case may be. We appreciate it. And I'm going to kind of cut the rest of it off. I'm going to jump over to one thing. I actually got a text message about 2 minutes before the meeting started. And it's from the and they were asking about exceeding. This is not something I know we've been addressing now, it's not on the agenda. They were wondering if we had a city hall update. There was a question about the Pickens Joy Regional Water update. And I do encourage anybody that's available, come to the meeting Thursday night. They have a meeting Thursday night at 6 in Pickens. You know, if you want to hear more about the water, come sit down and listen and be part of that. They asked a question about where we are on the forensic audit that the mayor asked about. There was a question about the city internet, the new lines being installed. We can probably give an update after lunch tomorrow. We'll be with Zach in tomorrow. Mayor's will stop in as well. And hopefully we'll have an update about that. There was a question about, let's see, I won't say that other part. I know the answer is. But hey, I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bo Cooley, Ward 3.
Yes. So we have the Liberty Softball is doing a free mini camp for the community on Saturday, the 24th of January from 10 to 11:30 at the high school softball field. If it rains, they will have it inside the gym in the middle school. This is a great opportunity to get young girls out to basically trying to rebuild the program because there's not a whole lot of girls. We'll lose them to the actual softball side. So trying to get them out before registration ends so they can try it out before their parents have to spend that money and then they may not like it. So definitely recommend everyone to sign up for that. You got any little young girls that want to play softball. I'm also working with the baseball team and Mr. Peg Haney, who is known for doing awesome baseball camps in upstate. And he's also friends with head coaches for the baseball team to do the same thing. So another 3 community mini camp. We're working on the dates and getting scheduled for them. I'd also like to see what we can do about having some type of board or committee for the rec department, just to help with any issues that arise within the department. I said this would help keep the city from having to be as involved with issues that are going on with the rec department. And also want to shout out our rec department are hosting an awesome basketball tournament this weekend, and they're looking forward to hosting some more. And then last, I want to congratulate everyone that contributed on the design for the 150th anniversary logo. It turned out great, and the feedback has been awesome from the community. Everyone really loved it, and I also can't wait to see all the artwork that fills up Rosewood too. So that was it.
I just had one question. You're talking about the rec department. Would it be like an advisory board? Just curious.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. I've talked to them a little bit, but some kind of board that would basically, I guess, if they have an issue, they would be the ones that would kind of handle it. It would be like a 3-person board or something like an advisory or a committee or something like that. It's done in several different rec departments, and it just keeps the directors and so forth, I guess, more of the heat off of them, so to speak. It has more people to have input and kind of handle situations that arise. So it's not on them completely.
Interesting. Okay, thank you. Jeff?
Council would have to set up a big ordinance. That's certainly something you can do. And then typically your rec director would be the staff person assigned as the
As the chair of that board, right? Or just as a liaison?
It would be a liaison. The board would be independent. But their advice, because they're not employees, they could not act disciplinary matters, but they can make recommendations to the rec director as they handle it. They also can, you can kind of treat them as eyes on the ground. They can see what maybe you need in the parks, or they may know more about a particular sport than the rec director knows, and they'll be able to recommend maybe, for example, they changed the dimensions for pickleball courts recently. So that would be an example of something that they might be more aware of.
What?
Yeah.
Baker?
I think it's more about the outside part. The part where they're running and smashing into your fence or something, But I know that's, and it's probably come out of the, now that there's professional pickleball, But I just learned that this past week, and so I have to investigate a little more on that.
I didn't know that was something.
So yeah, we can definitely do that.
Wonderful, thank you. Jeff Massey, Ward 4.
I got two things. One, do we know if the side-by tractor that does the ditch cleanouts, is it up and running, or do we have any equipment to clean out a gully? Abbott Street has a gully, and it needs to be cleaned out. It has caused property damage on county property. The gentleman that lives in the corner of it is county. The ditch line is city at Abbott Street.
Yeah, part of it's county.
Yes. Yes. The issue was the ditch line had gotten backed up, and it's been so full that the water was washing under this gentleman's property because the drain system goes behind his backyard, goes off into the ravine. With that being backed up, his entire yard collapsed. I was there, and he brought me down there. I looked at it, it was horrible. I mean, it was just a crater. The whole backyard was crushed in. It looked like Mayweather. But he got that repaired at his own expense. He hired somebody to come in and fix it. But we never did go out and clean out that gully on Abbott Street to prevent it from happening again. And this was probably been a year and a half, 2 years ago.
They have a ditching bucket over there, goes me back that far.
Yeah. Is there any way that we could get that put on the schedule? It's from Abbott Street. It's directly across from Bryant Street. And it's from the stop sign to the first address to the right. You'll see the mailbox. The cross member, or the cross drain crosses under at that first driveway. And it goes to that gentleman's property, and then it goes across.
I'll let our guys know in the morning so they can go out there and test it.
And then my other thing I wanted to bring up was the animals allowed inside the city limits. I know our ordinance states that as long as the city has a permit to issue the resident or citizen of the city, they would be allowed to have certain animals. At this time, our ordinance states that if they're allowed the permit and they have the proper permit, then they can have those animals. The city doesn't have a permit to issue. The police department doesn't have a permit to issue. Is there any way that we can get this put on maybe the work session agenda?
It's all about livestock. So there is a livestock permit, and it's livestock being.
Do we have an actual permit that someone can come in and purchase?
That is a question for Chief. I know him and Kate, so it was on our website, and then Chief's team was supposed to have it.
They filled out permits for Cognitive forms. The officer will actually go out and inspect some of the pens. As far as the permit fee, I don't believe there's a permit fee.
Okay.
So there is a permit, and it's more specifically for chickens and beef, because that's what our ordinance are specific for.
Okay, because I see where it said ducks, turkeys, roosters, pheasants, pigeons, domestic fowl animals, sheep, goats, pot-bellied pigs, swine, mules, horses, cattle is all listed under that livestock permit.
So they're listed as, if I'm not mistaken, prohibited use, like you can't have it, but it does talk about the chickens and the beef reflecting those livestock permits.
Now, you could have livestock in your agricultural properties.
Okay, because I was confused, but by the way I was reading this, it said that as long as you obtained that permit, you were allowed to have these animals.
That ordinance might need to be updated.
So this would have to be,
It's very confusing the way it's written, because it lists off the ones that you could potentially have, and it says get a permit, but then you go to permit and only list 2,
Yeah.
and on there you've got like 12.
yeah, you got like 12.
Yeah, that might need to be
Two different
updated.
sections,
Yeah.
and the chickens and the bees is pretty specific, but the others is not specific, and I don't want to
Yeah,
overflow.
and just like the appendix and the agenda and all that stuff, questions that John had, I just want to make things as easy as, to follow as possible so that there's no gray area. I was just
All right.
John.
seem like as long as you had that permit, you would have these houses. The way it's written.
But if you look at your zoning ordinance, they're prohibited in all the zones except for your 2 agricultural zones.
Right.
So it does, so when it says livestock,
Right.
I see what you're saying. So when it says possession of livestock, it says for the purpose of the section, livestock is considered, and it says cattle, horses, mules, animals. And it goes over it, and then when you come down to the permit section, it says the permit to keep livestock and personnel. So I see what you're saying.
See, it looks like, hey, I got a permit, I can have these animals. And then now you got 10 cows down here on this.
But then it also happens that there's zones because in there is specific.
Wait, we need to start farming.
Right.
So we just have to go letter.
Sorry.
So you're asking for all these animals all together. So it's like right here, you can get a permit for livestock, but it depends on your zone if you can actually get it or not, which none of our zones actually.
Right.
Besides agriculture.
Is there any way we could come up with a permit where you could like purchase it and then renew it like every 2 years?
That's what you always want to do it.
Like kind of like a business license, to where you're starting to get revenue off of your.
That would be something y'all have to amend in your budget, your city operating budget.
We
I
can
mean, it would be the same way as a business license, but
Yeah, we can talk about it in the work session. Yeah.
I'd
Let's
like
put
to
it on
put that
there.
on the agenda, if that's
Yeah.
okay.
I think that's not to be a fee.
You got me.
Yeah.
You know, have a chicken or something, and what do you use my chicken? You know, so like,
Most people use just bread.
I know, but you're gonna sell it.
And maybe. Exactly.
I'm just trying to see the revenue there.
What he's trying to say basically is gonna bring a little.
Something better.
Yeah.
And then we can issue a decal. Right. So like we could have a decal made.
With the city 150th logo.
Yeah. We could do a decal on the windows so that it's the bar.
Right, I'm just saying, I mean,
You can get a permit for it. Like,
It's like the.
Right now, it's like an permit to have a permit livestock. It's more or less to request permission to have an officer medical to make sure your chickens are.
That you're suitable for.
I was about to say,
Now you're paying for the office.
Right now.
I think it should be listed. I understand, I got it.
Yeah, just enough so that we're covering the officer's time to go out there and take an hour to assess the situation. Then we should be, the permit should be that amount of money that it
And
takes.
sometimes they want to go out multiple times because they're like, hey, you got so many chickens, you need to have it this big, it's not that big, or it's not fun. So it ends up being like three times.
So we're gonna put that on the work agenda for,
It might be March.
yeah, the February 20th session.
Yeah. So that might go on the agenda. Yeah, that might go on the agenda in March. February, y'all have it, special. It might be March, so it'll go on there.
Next year.
The way I read it, that's why I was requesting. Because the way it reads, it looks.
Yeah. I wanna try to clear up as much of those gray areas as possible.
Good.
John Humphrey at large.
Okay, so first, thanks for the signs on Alta Vista, the curb sign and also the speed sign. They got put up today, and I met with Brian from Public Works. He was out there doing some work and put those up. Took a nice picture. Hopefully he sent you the picture, but it looks good. And also found out that they got a new truck in Public Works. They worked on a truck that wasn't in service. They got it up running and are able to utilize that. So that's great. That's good utilization of assets. So that's
$40 fix.
how much?
$40.
So I wanted to also thank Councilman Wilson for driving the truck. I appreciate that. That was a huge help to the whole city. I mean, everybody. So thank you very much for that. And also, the reason that he wants to cook you hamburgers is because he got a new grill and he wants to use his new grill. So that's the whole reason he's trying to do it. So let's get this right out. Okay. Last month we had something that we pushed off. I don't know what they call it when you don't do anything about it. Is noise and offense against peace. And I didn't talk about it this month. So what did we do and where are we going with that? So that's something that just sometimes somebody can tell us what's going on with that.
So that is actually going to keep, the reason we decided to push it off another month is so that we can give the team time to and actually review it.
Perfect. Thank you. Speed bumps, I also agree that we need some kind of an ordinance. We need some kind of agreement. It can't be somebody comes up and says, hey, I want a speed bump. Next time somebody's going to say, hey, I want turn lanes on alternates, and we don't need turn lanes on alternates. So not at 50 miles an hour. But we need to also incorporate the chief's input and probably fire's input too. That's something in calculating the number. I think you already did some work with the SCDOT about number of units, how you calculate all that stuff. But I did have another constituent, Mrs. Rogers, contacting us about the same thing with the speed and new business coming in. And here's the next thing that's going to happen if we don't get these ordinances that you're talking about with the speed bumps. She'd like us to close the road. So, because think about it, we just closed the road over on West Front Street for a different reason, but people see how easily it can be done. Now they're thinking, hey, maybe we can do that to my street, and now my street will be nice and quiet, and we don't come through this way anymore. I'm not saying that's what her intent was. Her intent was to try and track that. But it's something that will help us when we have those ordinances and those other things, those other reviews, what you call traffic studies and things like that too. I think we'll get a lot of benefit from that.
There are specific state laws on two things. One is closure of the road and abandoning the road. And there's specific procedures for each one. Abandoning would be like you're never going to use it as a road again. Closure would be to keep the road, but you can close off land or whatever. So there's state law that kind of covers that. And we could, I'd be happy to bring that in and tell you, but it's a little complicated and annoying, but it's because roads are typically that are open to the public kind of has rights to them, to use them. And so you have to jump through some hoops to get there. But it is possible to get there. I've certainly done it several times. So,
Do we have talking about that? Where's the main entrance for Tractor Supply? Is it going to be on the Summit or also 93? The main entrance will be on Summit.
And my understanding is there's actually no entrance on Alta Vista, entrance or exit. So all that traffic would have to go out and come back and around. So
And I just want to, so the question about how easy it is to come in and close the road. If it's deemed as a safety hazard, of course we can go and close it, but it's not indefinite. Now we have had conversations about north of Elliott Street, just because there's a natural spring right there. But I did speak to an engineer, and he had stated that we can't close it because of emergency services. So that's something we'll have to look at. But those roads are not closed indefinite. They're just closed for
okay, we talked about West Front Street, and also I wanted to make a comment about Christmas time in downtown Liberty. That's the most beautiful city in the entire world. Christmas time is in downtown. Those lights, the Christmas tree, when you are on 93 looking back through down Connor Street, it doesn't get any better than that. Life's good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Tom. Rhonda Whitaker, at large.
I have a few things going on about his comment about Tractor Supply. One of the constituents whose property actually will run up to that property has a concern about would they need some
Jennifer.
Jennifer, okay. And, on Pepper Street, being that that's the detour now, I don't think there's a street sign where it leads to Old Norris. I think it's not there. I don't know. I go by there all the time, so I don't really pay attention, but something caught my eye the other day. I had another constituent ask about speed bumps in another location, but I'll pass that on when we get to all that. And also the side that will attract like that will put up to Alta Vista. You said there's not going to be any entrance there. Do you think they would put some? I mean, do you contact the company, or do you? I mean, about possibly them planting some kind of trees to, knock off that view?
That would be a Jennifer question.
Yeah, that's all Jennifer.
We already approved their plat.
Yeah,
But
all
how?
in
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I don't know if you really does that in.
I think they did, if you go and look at their drawing schematic of it, I've seen it, I don't remember why I saw it, but I saw it. I don't remember why I saw it, if it was the planning commission before I came over.
I have one in my office. If you want to come by tomorrow, you can look at it.
Okay. I think there's a buffer of trees out back of this.
Like 8 foot shrubs or something on the edge.
Buffer on the backside.
Okay, I know, the mortuary had asked me that a while back.
But that's part of our zoning ordinance.
Gotcha.
So they have
Problem is,
to-
remember, when they get planted, they're not 30 feet tall.
Right, yeah.
So is that kind of like property encroachment? Is that what she asked?
No, I don't think so.
What is the property code for, is it 8 foot? Side to side, 3 foot
I
back?
don't know.
It depends on what zone it's
Yeah, I have
in.
to
So
look.
if I look at the zone.
That was a question for the time.
So many setbacks.
Right, that's what I was.
Did y'all do setbacks just before
It's way more, they'll have way more than that, because there's actually if I remember correctly, the loading dock is along Alta Vista, so there's a berm with bushes, and the loading dock comes down and a load on the backside. I heard that the joint section, the dome, which had all that.
Okay, first Tuesday of February. Okay, yep, first Tuesday. Yep, for the work session. Yeah. Okay, it'll be a joint session. Yeah. And then one more thing, the previous mayor had sent me some information. She had received an email from a student at the high school, with the Interact Club, and y'all may already know about this, wanting to possibly build some benches and place them in town somewhere. So, I mean, I thought that was a great idea, but it's been a while since I had the information and everything that's going on, so, okay.
Yes, they actually reached out to me today.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I have an on-site with them in February.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's all I have.
Okay. We're up to me. All right, so this last month has been just a huge time of learning, and I want to thank the city staff and every single one of our council members that has been immensely helpful in just walking me through things, sharing exciting ideas, and answering my never-ending list of questions, because it just never ends. Every one of you has stepped up, and I deeply appreciate it. Saturday, December 13th, Council and I attended the Reach Across America event at Liberty Memorial Gardens. Earlier that morning, Chief Tedder and I were able to participate in the toy run with other law enforcement and emergency professionals. Later that day, it was a busy day, I had a productive meeting at City Hall about the Liberty History Museum and some next steps for reopening that. More on that to come, but some first steps have been started. Next week, Council and I will be attending municipal training in Columbia, as well as the Legislative Action Day. During those days, Monday through Wednesday, I will not hold office hours here in Liberty. As a heads up for anyone looking to schedule time with me, the 19th through the 21st. Unfortunately, I don't have a clone yet. This month marks the beginning of our 150th anniversary year. This is a huge milestone for Liberty. This past Saturday, we were thrilled to see about 40 to 50 residents out at the Rosewood for our logo debut and artist exhibit launch. Huge shout out to Noose on Main for donating those delicious chocolate cookies. I brought one home to my daughter, and she's like, these are better than homemade, so apparently we're just buying them now. I'm so excited to see all of the artwork submitted up on our walls at the Rosewood shortly, and I'm actually reaching out to each of the schools to invite them to participate as well, so we should have hopefully a lot of artwork. Our next big event will be our official birthday in March. Sierra and I are actually working on some invitations to some of our state representatives, county council, that kind of stuff, so we're hoping to invite them out to the event in March. And we are working on some very big plans for the event and hope to see you all there. That's it. That's all I have. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Councilman Cooley. And a second? Second by Councilman Whitaker. Any discussion? All in favor? Awesome. You're adjourned.